Live at Brooklyn, New York, this is the UPSL American Premier Division Championship game. The winner takes home the division crown. The loser says so long in spring 2022. A great matchup expected between Oyster Bay United and Queensborough at the Aviator Sports and Complex Field in Brooklyn, New York. Live on the field of Floyd Bennett Field, of course, in Brooklyn, New York. Hi, everybody. Alex Carminati here for you of Coach's Corner NYC. Pleased to be here with you. Big matchup indeed. Oyster Bay taking on Queensborough in a game that should not disappoint. These two teams faced off earlier in the spring this past season. Queensborough beat Oyster Bay by a slim 1-0 margin. Oyster Bay had chances left and right to pull ahead, maybe even win the game. Those were spoiled, of course. Queensborough won the matchup back in the spring earlier a few months ago. Again, I'm Alex Carminati. I am with Coach's Corner NYC. Pleased to be here with you. And all together, we're excited for this great matchup on Coach's Corner NYC on YouTube. Oyster Bay and Queensborough, a team Oyster Bay that's coming off a 3-0 victory in the semifinal match last Saturday at Oyster Bay, their home stadium, Theodore Roosevelt Memorial Park. They took down the NJ Alliance. They took them down 3-0 last Saturday in Oyster Bay on Long Island. That was the game that saw Joey Holland score 2 goals and Teofilo Chavez scored the other goal, eventually leading to a 3-0 victory for Oyster Bay. Queensborough, they're coming off a 6-1 victory in their semifinal against the Philadelphia Lone Star. A dominating win for Queensborough as they look to once again win this title, the American Premier Division title, once again for another straight season. And for Oyster Bay, a team that's been around for nearly 1 year, they debuted last July, almost on the 1-year anniversary in the fall championship game. They lost last fall to NJAFC 1-0 in a game that saw a fight break out towards the end last fall. Even though in that loss, this team, Oyster Bay, made the U.S. Open Cup in March 2022, falling in the second round of that tournament. Fast forward all these months later, again, they're in the championship game for the second straight time, the second time in program history. There's been a lot of unprecedented things done by Oyster Bay, and the way they've been able to set precedents says a lot as well about what they're able to do, how capable they are, and how far they can really go. Of course, they look to put their name and team to the test one more time this afternoon against a very good Queensborough team that is the number 1 seed. Queensborough is no slouch. In 2023, they'll be moving up to the UPSL League. This, of course, is the UPSL, the United Premier Soccer League, and for Oyster Bay, almost 1 full year in, they have not disappointed. They have a big fun Queensborough, who, of course, is the top of the crop in this division. And again, the winner wins the American Premier Division Championship. The winner of that will compete in New England for the New England Regional title. So we'll see how it all plays out. The Northeastern Regional title. Excuse me. So we'll see how it all plays out altogether in this contest. The winner will move on to that regional in New England. The winner, of course, will be very happy to move on. Queensborough looks to be the victor, but Oyster Bay looks to be the spoiler of that. They are typically the underdog against Queensborough in this contest. Before the contest, I chatted with Junior Rosero of Oyster Bay United. Here's a few sound bites from him. Junior, the lead scorer on this team, has 18 goals for Oyster Bay. He has 5 separate hat-tricks in the spring of 2022. I talked with Junior earlier this week. Here's my chat with Junior as, again, Oyster Bay gets set for this matchup versus Queensborough. Oyster Bay United is getting set for their matchup versus Queensborough. They're ready to rock and roll in the regional final as we're moments away from the contest. Before the matchup, I chatted with Junior Rosero of Oyster Bay. He and I previewed the matchup as Oyster Bay looks to make history in a matter of moments. Here's the chat with Junior as, again, Oyster Bay takes on Queensborough for the regional title. To preview the matchup, joining me right now is Junior Rosero of Oyster Bay United. Junior, how are you? Thanks so much for joining me.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me.
This is a big matchup looking to make history. Oyster Bay United is. It is down to the wire this game. It's a big matchup against Queensborough. How are you feeling? How is his team feeling entering the matchup for a chance to win a regional title?
No, definitely, it's a final, so we're all excited. Coming off the high of that semifinal win against New Jersey Alliance, that 3-0 win, for a lot of us, most of us who were on the team last year, it was that was a big game. We felt that was kind of like a final for us just in itself because we had 3 games against them, prior in our history, and we've had 3 losses, and then to get that semifinal win against them to go into the final and actually finally get to beat them well-deserved a win. So yeah, so we're excited to be in the final. We know that Queensborough, very young team, but at the same time, very young, fit, organized. So we know it's going to be a good battle.
No, for sure, indeed. And again, that game versus the Alliance this past Saturday, it was a big matchup. You won 3-0, like you mentioned. Last fall you played them in the in the regional final, and in that matchup, I tell you, Junior, it was a 1-0 game, but it was down to the wire. There was even physicality. There was a fight to finish off the game last fall. You beat them back 3-0, like I mentioned this past weekend. What was it like being the Alliance for the first time in program history to finally get over that hump to be in the position you are right now?
So like I said before, it was just a huge win, mentally, because we knew we deserved the win. So we played them last fall for the first game of the season. I wasn't there. I hadn't joined the team yet. And then that was a 2-1 loss. And then we played them again in the final, lost to them 1-0. I wasn't there again. So for me, it was one of those things where, I wanted to play them. I wanted to see what I could do against them and, help the team out. And then this year, unfortunately, we played them away, 4-0 loss, which was a bit upsetting. We had to get our feet back, our heads back out of the clouds and our feet on the ground and reevaluate. We had to get off the high of the US Open Cup. We had to let that go. But fortunately enough, the team regrouped and we did the changes we had to do mentally and on the field. And, now we are where we are now.
You look at this team overall this season, and again, a great year, 51 goals for you, only giving up 9 throughout the entire year so far. It's a lot to really expect. Those are regular season stats when it comes to playoffs as well. 54-9 now with the 3-0 victory that just took place this past weekend. I mean, altogether, we see this win, we see this game, we see this team all together, and it's a lot to really grasp. Again, a great fall year. You lost in that regional final. You made the U.S. Open Cup, like you mentioned. This spring, you get even better. You're in this regional final this time versus Queensborough. How have we been able to see this? The growth, the strength, and the overall poise that this Oyster Bay team has had for however long it's been.
Yeah, no, so we have a lot of experienced players. That's what I think is one of our biggest keys, one of the biggest attributes to our team is that we have a lot of experienced players that not only on the field, technically wise, but also mentally. They've been at high paced games. They've been in games where it counts. Actually more than this final. So that's where I feel like a lot of us, we understand what's going on. We know what's at stake here, but at the same time, we know how to handle it on the field. We know what we have to do. Queensborough, like I said, is a young team, young and organized team, but at the same time, they're young. So they don't have the experience that we do. So hopefully we're able to take advantage of that and show them, Oyster Bay United and where we've been and how we're able to manage on the field.
Absolutely. And again, for you, Junior, you have 18 goals in a year. You have 5 hat tricks in 5 separate games this season. You've been the main scorer offensively for this team. How is your offense going to make or break what happens against Queensborough?
Yeah, no, like you said, yeah, I've had 18 goals this season, but as along with my 18 goals, we have Sebastian Ruiz, who has 8 goals, and unfortunately, we don't have Rodrigo, who has another 7 goals. But I'm confident in our attack. I'm confident in what we have. Me and Sebastian, we know we've always been a pair, and adding Theo Chavez to the team, he also helps as well. But no, we have a great attack, and I'm confident in what we have going forward, and as well as what we have, defending in the back.
You mentioned Theo Chavez, also Joey Holland. Those were the 3 goal scorers. Joey Holland had 2 of the goals. Chavez had the other one against NJAFC this past weekend.
Right.
Even though you didn't score, what does it show about the versatility of this offense for Oyster Bay? Even though you have 18 goals, this team is able to get offense from other guys when you go scoreless.
Yeah, definitely. That's why adding. I totally forgot. Adding Joey Holland, for the playoffs was huge because I mean, obviously we have players like Sebastian and Theo to, help relieve the stress on me, obviously, because a team sees, 18 guys, 18 goals scored for the season, they're going to target me. And
Right.
These guys know me, Queensborough, they know me. So they knew from even when we first played them, don't let them shoot. They were hearing that all game. Don't let them shoot. Don't let them shoot. So obviously, after and then coming now with 18 goals again, it's going to be the same thing. So it's nice to have kind of nice to have other players, other teammates that can relieve the stress off me. That it doesn't have to rely just on me. It can be Dale can score. Dale can score. Sebastian can score. Joseph Holland can obviously score as he proved two goals in the last game. So it's nice to know that I have players that, even if I can assist, I don't, it doesn't mind. If I don't score in the final, that's so be it. As long as we get the victory and the win, as long as I did my part and I could help my team, that's all that matters. And to show what we've been working hard for the season.
No, for sure, indeed. And again, Queensborough, they're no Mickey Mouse, opponent. They're legit. They're the top of the crop when it comes to your division, when it comes to your conference. This is the top of the crop opponent. You played them earlier in the season. You lost in a great game, back and forth, 1-0. Even though you were held scoreless, you had so many chances left and right where you could have pulled ahead, you could have had this goal, that goal, what have you. This game, again, down to the wire, this game more important than the regular season game you played a few months ago. What's the overall game plan versus Queensborough? Is it more offensive, more defensive? Is it just back and forth altogether? What can we expect from a game plan strategy for this team against Queensborough?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a mix. Obviously, the best offense is a good defense. So I mean, obviously, we want to just be organized.
So that was Junior Rosero of Oyster Bay FC. Oyster Bay taking on Queensborough. Getting ready to rock and roll here in the American Premier Division Final. Playoffs it is here in Brooklyn, New York. Queensborough, the host at Floyd Benz Field at the Aviator Sports Complex in Brooklyn. Oyster Bay, of course, the road team. They're from Long Island. They're from Oyster Bay. Been around for almost 1 year. What they've done during that period of time almost has been remarkable so far. Second straight Premier regional final they've been to. But of course, they were there in the fall. They lost 1-0 to the AFC. This spring, they're here again. They're playing Queensborough, a much tougher team. Queensborough has had a good team and has been the top crop in this division for a long time, especially this year. They're the number 1 seed in this year's playoffs. Oyster Bay, the 2nd seed. So 1 and 2 going right at it. They'll get ready to rock and roll. Moments away between Oyster Bay and Queensborough. I'm Alex Carbonati of Coach's Corner NYC. Pleased to be here with you here in Brooklyn, New York. Oyster Bay, as we get set again, they're getting ready for this contest. It's a big one for them. They want to redeem their loss last fall. And for Queensborough, a team that's going to be in the USL in 2023, they're just trying to get more recognition and championships to their record, to their resume, to their name, to build them even more forward to the USL, which will be happening for them in 2023. But for Oyster Bay, again, almost 1 full year, 11 months to be exact so far. July 2022 will be the 1 year anniversary of this team for Oyster Bay United. And again, second straight regional final in the American Premier Division playoffs. This, of course, in the spring here, and they're looking to make history with their first regional title in program history. If they do that, it'll be in the 11 months they've been a team all together. And for this team, for Oyster Bay, 54 goals in favor, 9 goals given up throughout the entire year. They're coming off a 3-0 victory this past Saturday against NJAFC, the team they lost to in the fall regional final. They beat 3-0 at home at Oyster Bay in Theodore Roosevelt Memorial Park. Joey Holland with 2 goals and Teofilo Chavez with the other one. Oyster Bay came alive, and this team for Oyster Bay, when they could get started hot quickly, they do not slow down. When they get goals, when they get fast opportunities, when they create fast breaks, when they go in transition from right to left, left to right, offense, defense, whatever it may be, they know how to capitalize. And a majority of their goals have been on the transition. 2 of the 3 goals were scored via the transition this past Saturday last weekend at home against New Jersey Lions. We'll see what they can do against the Queensborough team. Had 38 goals in their favor. They're coming off a 6-1 victory against Philadelphia in the semifinal last Saturday. That game was here in Brooklyn at the Sports Complex at Floyd Bennett Field. Oyster Bay and Queensborough, last time they faced off was earlier this spring. Queensborough won 1-0 in a close game that could have had Oyster Bay win 1-0 or 2-1, or they could have gone back and forth. It was a close game. Oyster Bay with several chances. Eventually, they were spoiled. They scored no goals in that game. They lost 1-0 altogether earlier this spring to this Queensborough team. So they're looking to make up for that, to match that, to get some goals on the board, and of course walk out of the regional title. That's the goal. Queensborough trying to do the same thing. Maybe win 1-0, maybe win more than that. We'll see what they can do against this Oyster Bay team. But we're expecting a great matchup here on Coach's Corner NYC live on YouTube between Oyster Bay and Queensborough. A good matchup for the regional title, and the winner will move on to New England to play for the Northeast Championship. House in New England. Oyster Bay looking to be that team. Queensborough, of course, looking to do the same. One team can move on, the other will have to stay so long for the spring of 2022. We'll see what takes place. We'll see how it all plays out. The players are getting lined up as we speak. So we'll get starting introductions. The officials getting ready to get this game underway very shortly. As again, we're expecting a very good matchup between two teams, the two top teams in the American Premier Division, two teams that were exactly 1 and 2 seeds in the playoffs and 1 and 2 altogether in the standings. Queensborough, of course, number 1, Oyster Bay, number 2 seeded. So here come the players walking out as we speak, along with the officials. Oyster Bay directly in front of me here. Queensborough on the far right side benches. Oyster Bay on the far left on the field. Both of these teams, again, walking out as we speak for this championship matchup, the regional final. Winner will win the regional title in the American Premier Division. The loser will go home and stay so long for the spring of 2022. I expect more than 1 goal in this game. With the high stakes, the energy that we're expected to see, the physicality possibly coming, and the overall atmosphere. It's a big game for a championship matchup. It's not just your regular season title. It's a big game. We'll step aside for the national anthem, and then we'll come back. One of the quickest national anthems I've heard in my time covering sports and all of that. But regardless, the national anthem is over, and we're almost underway for this contest. Championship matchup: Oyster Bay v. Queensborough. A game that I'm sure will not disappoint, and a game that has a lot of expectations and a lot on the line to begin with. For Oyster Bay, Giancarlo Perez, the starting goalkeeper, coming off a 3-0 shutout victory last Saturday at home in Oyster Bay, New York. Theodore Roosevelt Memorial Park was the site for the victory. We'll see what he does today against his Queensborough team. Junior Rosero, the Golden Boot winner, 18 goals on the season, 5 hat-tricks in 5 separate games this year. Went scoreless last week. He'll look to do some damage offensively this game against a very good team. The head coaches for Oyster Bay, Josue Esqueche, the head coach, the assistant coach, Jean-Pierre Espejo, also the general manager for Oyster Bay United. And for Queensborough, Diego Gomez Heredia, the head coach for Queensborough. He's assisted by Juan Carlos Morales and Felipe Montiel. Also assisted by David Ramirez and Kevin Tenhold. So that's the staff for Queensborough. 5 coaches compared to Oyster Bay's 2. Regardless, there's a lot of knowledge in both benches. Queensborough takes their final cup talk. Same does Oyster Bay. We're about to get set here in Brooklyn, Floyd Bennett Field, Aviator Sports Complex. Do or die for both teams. Oyster Bay looking to be the victor. Queensborough, of course, looking to do the same thing. Oyster Bay looking to win their first regional title in program history. They've been around for only 11 months. Next month will be the 1-year anniversary. Queensborough looking to continue their domination in this conference. And, of course, eventually make their way to the USL next year in 2023 with more recognition and more championships on their resume. Looks like Oyster Bay will get the ball started. It's Junior Rosero in the middle with Teofilo Chavez. Both gentlemen will get set to go. We'll see if Junior or Teofilo will get things going. We'll see who kicks it off between the players. But Oyster Bay will be the one starting things off with the ball possession. Looks like Junior will be doing the honors. And for Junior, no, it's actually Teofilo Chavez. He kicks it over to Carriel, Matthews Carriel. We're officially underway in Brooklyn. Floyd Bennett Field, Oyster Bay v. Queensborough. Regional final of the American Premier Division. Here's Luis Altuve dropping back for a pass. Who swings to Andy Blanco and swings right across to Akeem Morris. Morris, one of the top defenders on his team, trying for Blanco. That was quickly intercepted by Queensborough. Blanco trying to match it quickly, almost turned over there. It goes out of play. Looks like it went off Queensborough last. And a matter of seconds in, it's Queensborough with a quick opportunity after that slow pass that was intercepted easily by Jonathan Santillan. Jonathan Santillan, he had the opportunity. He's denied. Giancarlo Perez. He comes out of the crease. He'll slightly pass over to Luis Altuve, who will swing to Akeem Morris. Morris had that turnover recently. He has the possession again, trying to find Matthews Carriel. Carriel racing to keep it alive. He feeds to Sebastian Ruiz. Ruiz trying to go past the halfway marker. He just stays in bounds. He'll retreat to Morris instead. He's on the right side of the field near the Oyster Bay bench. Morris will drop back to Perez, who was in goal. Had a chance that was quickly tested away by Stevens blocking backing up his goalkeeper. Chance that was going far down the field, trying to find Sebastian Ruiz. It was too far for Ruiz, so he lost the possession, as does Oyster Bay. Queensborough will have a throw-in, the first one for either team. And that throw-in will drop back all the way to the goalkeeper in Brian Yergiles. Yergiles, the goalkeeper for Queensborough, will boot things across. Morris will try to set it down, though it's matched quickly by Queensborough. Queensborough again, Gabriel Enriquez, that is. He turns around. He's quickly intercepted by Sebastian Ruiz, 7-on-7. Here's Ruiz dancing on the far right side. Sebastian has 8 goals on the year, also has 2 hat-tricks of his own in the spring 2022 season. Chance going across. So Ruiz and company thought they kept it in, though it went off Ruiz last, and it looks like the possession will go straight back to Queensborough. A great opportunity altogether for Oyster Bay to quickly move the ball around. It was too far of a stretch, or it touched Ruiz last. So Queensborough will get the possession. They'll move deadly inside their own zone to reset. Oyster Bay's bench was not happy about that call. Nothing much they can do about it as Queensborough moves with the ball. Yergiles has possession, fancies one down, finding a teammate in Anderson Holtz. Holtz chipping things across, whistles called. It's going to be a Queensborough possession off that whistle. And Oyster Bay will be pinned a little farther now inside their zone. They went from occupying the ball to losing it quickly, now being pinned defensively once again. 45. Official making sure the eventual start of play is at the exact position to restart playing. It's at the 45-yard line on this football field, Floyd Bennett Field. Football, soccer, could be used for many things, even lacrosse possibly. That's very common throughout high school, throughout college, around semi-pro, and maybe even pro, depending. Far down the field, it goes out of play. Looks like it touched off Queensborough last. To my vantage point, looks like it's Dylan Woods, who was the last defender to touch it. And with that, here comes a corner. The first one of the game for either team. It's going to be Queensborough doing the honors on the far right side. Queensborough has had a few chances. Seconds of this game, they had a great chance to be put up 1-0 quickly off a turnover from Akeem Morris. Here's a quick corner going towards the goal. Headed in! So a great chance opportunity. Queensborough strikes first. A kick from the corner, a header is running just like that. Queensborough grabs the 1-0 lead early in this first half. Giancarlo Perez is beaten. Oyster Bay caught napping in front. And it's Queensborough. The number 1 seed playing like it early. They get the goal. They lead 1-0. Tough to tell from the angle who got the goal exactly. Nonetheless, Queensborough has the 1-goal advantage. So it is Queensborough getting that goal. It is 1-0 as we speak. As that corner, Oyster Bay, a turnover, a whistle called that kept the possession alive for Queensborough. They forced it down the field, Queensborough that is, towards the far right side. They get the corner. They capitalize on the corner opportunity. A header goes in front. No one was there defensively to help Giancarlo Perez. Just like that, we're minutes in. It's 1-0 Queensborough in this final game. American Premier Regional. Live on Coach's Corner NYC. There was a chance for Sebastian Ruiz. Again, that was too far of a stretch. It goes off Chavez, and it goes out of play. Holt will throw things in, back to his goalkeeper. Urgiles, who has not faced a shot so far. Oyster Bay is trying to move the ball around. They've been able to get past the halfway marker, but nothing past the 30 or 20-yard line so far, especially that 20-yard line. Chavez was moving the ball. He lost possession. He was out of play. Here comes a throw and taken away by Oyster Bay. Carriel dances with it. Now goes to Blanco. Blanco will sky it up in the air, trying to chip it down for Ruiz. Holt is there defensively for Queensborough. A battle on the far side towards the Queensborough bench. It goes out of play, and it looks like it went off Sebastian Ruiz one more time. Assistant coach John Pierre Espejo arguing a possible foul call. He won't get it. That's why the official took the few moments of time to talk to him about that. Regardless, it is Queensborough with the possession. A feed across for Queensborough. They're moving it around in their zone, trying to go down the field one more time. They're going right to left. Oyster Bay is going left to right. As the possession goes out of play again off of Oyster Bay. Teofilo Chavez having some words with the head coach for Queensborough in Diego Gomez Heredia. Chavez a little frustrated early on as his team is trailing 1-0 in this regional final. Oyster Bay v. Queensborough. The American Premier Divisional Final. Playoff time it is, of course, and the winner of this game will be the regional title winner. The loser will go home and have their season come to a close in the spring of 2022. So it looks like a free kick opportunity for Queensborough. Down the field, there goes on the far left side. P. Morris is there defensively. It goes out of play. Whose possession will it be? It looks like it's going to be the ball of Queensborough again. Akeem Morris questioning that. He thought it went up Santillion last of Queensborough. He can plead his case. Looks like he won't get the call in his favor. Queensborough will have a second corner, this time from the left side. Last time there was a corner, Queensborough got the first goal of the contest. So Queensborough will get the corner. Mingu So is taking it from the far left side. So boots it. It's set across. Perez comes out of his cage. He slaps it away. At the rebound taken by Carriel. Carriel now feeds all the way down to Junior Rosero, who drops back to Carriel. Carriel dancing around, moving towards his left. Now swings across to Matthew Lynch. Lynch, midfielder, swings now across. Looks like it's Dylan Woods on that far left side of the field. Woods, he's pushed off. There's a whistle called after the push-off. The first foul versus Queensborough. Here comes Oyster Bay, drawing a penalty, now getting a free kick, and they'll move again. Looking to go farther down inside the Queensborough zone. So it looks like it was Jonathan Santillion with the goal who scored for Queensborough. Either way, it's 1-0 Queensborough. The last time these two teams face off, that was the final score in the contest. Oyster Bay trying to move the ball again and went too far and went out of play. Urgiles will get things restarted with a goal kick, or he'll rather toss things out to one of his defending teammates. That's number 2 in Musa Diarra to be exact. We'll now give back to Urgiles. Urgiles skies one down. Morris trotting defensively. Morris trying to meet it there. Morris will chip it simply out of play. Queensborough will keep possession. So Queensborough controlling the pace left and right all over Oyster Bay physically. Maybe some missed calls here or there, but the defense has been rock solid so far for Queensborough, and the offensive attack has worked pretty well so far. 2 quarters, broken up to Queensborough. And the way Queensborough has been able to pick up the steam, very impressive. Oyster Bay again coming up to 3-0 last weekend. Starting a little sluggish here in this regional final. Junior Rosero tries to play, getting well out of play. So Junior trying to save the ball. But Anderson Holt is working. Or tap it down. Rosario will get there back to live by Queensborough. They're moving with numbers. Quick feed in front, intercepted, taken away by Woods. Great defensive play also there by Blanco and Altuve. Now here's a feed for Chavez, who swings to Ruiz, who actually gives to Rosario instead. Rosario corrals one across to the far left side, trying to find Wilber Gomez. Gomez going high in the air. He can't pick it up. Now it's booted away by Queensborough. A battle for the ball one more time. Altuve heads it off his head. Lynch trying to get there. Still sizzling down it is. Loose ball taken by Gomez. Now actually taken away by Queensborough, but it rolls out of play. Who touched the last? Apparently it was Gomez, and Queensborough keeps the ball. So Queensborough with the possession one more time. Several jump balls, if you want to call it. I know it's not basketball for a lack of a better term. Jump balls, if you want to call it. Up in the air balls, whatever you want to call it. Nonetheless, Queensborough has a throw in one more time. They'll toss things in on that far right side of the field near the 40-yard line. Queensborough again going right to left. They lead 1-0 if you're joining us on Coach's Corner NYC. Oyster Bay going left to right. They trail in this regional final, the American Premier Division Playoff Regional Final of the UPSL. Looks like a player went down. That was Wilber Gomez. He takes a shot. He's a little slow to get up, and he's still favoring his left or right leg on the field. So Gomez still on the ground. He might need some medical attention. He's still very slow to get up after that collision with one of the Queensborough defenders. Well, now he's back on his feet, so he seems to be all right to continue this contest. Nonetheless, the foul draws a free kick. Here's Altuve from Woods, who now swings to Carriel, who picks the Blanco. So around the horn they go. They play some catch. Blanco swinging things around, trying Chavez or Rosario. Neither one he can hook up with. It was kept in by Carriel. Carriel now gives to Chavez. Give and go it is, though it's taken away by Queensborough. Queensborough quickly takes it away, moving down the field, racing Altuve, though outbeating him there is going to be Queensborough's Gabriel Enriquez. Oyster Bay resetting in their defensive zone. As we're still in the first half, it's 1-0 Queensborough. Plenty of time to go, but Queensborough has started strong in this regional final. Oyster Bay a little sluggish, especially when it comes to offensive chances. They've been in their zone too much so far in these first several minutes. Nearly 12 minutes now to be exact. Here's Carriel at the 30-yard line. He'll try to move his team forward. Carriel slides it down, trying to find Ruiz. It hits off the back of Ruiz. Hot shot that goes off the back of Sebastian. It will go out of play off of the United, and Queensborough will get the throw-in once more towards their bench. Queensborough in purple and black. Oyster Bay in all yellow, with black lining in the middle of it. Throw-in. Morris tries to play it, though went out of play before he got a foot on it. Morris will have a throw-in of his own, and Akeem Morris will throw things over to Junior Rosero, who swings now to Carriel. 8 to 9 to 10. Now here's number 30 in Lynch. Lynch will swing things all the way across the Woods. Woods will drop back. One more time, it's tipped forward by Oyster Bay, trying to get there. Junior Rosero trying to play for a head ball. Loose ball, Ruiz trying to get that one on the far right side. Will it go out? No, it's kept in, but it's taken away by Queensborough. So here comes Queensborough again with a pickpocket turnover. Oyster Bay having a really tough time occupying any offense inside the 20-yard line or even more. Feed now to Ruiz from Morris. Morris kept that chip ball out to swing to Lynch. Lynch having pressure on give over to Woods. Moving quickly now, it's actually Gomez, pardon me. Gomez will swing things around, drop off to Woods on the far left side. Dylan Woods with Woods, a midfield defender, now playing offense. Will drop back and kick on him. Swing across the horn it goes. Here's one more time. He will swing again to Carriel, who drops back to Blanco. Around the horn, they still go Oyster Bay, trying to get something going. We're near the 13-minute mark, or maybe even past it. Morris fires a shot that's blocked off the face of a defender, and that defender is down for Queensborough on the field. A rocket shot taken to the face by number 32 for Queensborough. Actually, number 31, pardon me, and Joshua Savreda. My apologies. Savreda was the one who actually got the goal. It looks like the head in. It was not Santillan. It was Savreda who got the head in goal very early in this game, about 5-6 minutes or so. He takes a shot to the face. He's back on his feet. And after that, Queensborough will just send the ball down. Altuve trying to play. Altuve lost the handle. Loose ball. Perez trying to get there. Perez will grab it with his jazz hand and scoop it up. Perez will swing to Carriel. Carriel now with it. Carriel moving quickly. Oyster Bay trailing by 1 here on Coach's Corner NYC. The American Premier Regional Final on YouTube. Winner wins the title. The loser has their season come to a close in spring of 2022. Oyster Bay trying to move the ball more. They've had more offensive possession for the past few minutes or so. Nothing on goal yet, but they're occupying the ball with more emphasis than they were to kick off the contest. Quick shot that goes on goal from far range. Booted down. Scooped up by Urgilis. And Brian Urgilis will sky things up for Morris. Morris tries to play, but watch him sail out of play. He'll get a throw in the ball. So it keeps Morris from getting a throw in. Left side of the field, towards the main bench. Ruiz tries to play. It looks like there was a handball call off of the goal scorer, Savreda. Joshua Savreda. Shot to the face of a header that went in the back of the cage. Maybe you heard that, maybe not. Nice helicopter coming over the field there. Nonetheless, play is resuming. Here comes Carriel. Carriel will swing to Blanco. Blanco will try to find over to Sebastian Ruiz, who kicks to Junior. Junior with a fancy shot. Fanned a little bit. Loose ball kept in alive again by Oyster Bay, though. Moving the ball quickly. Open chance. Chavez can't get there. It goes over his head. It's taken away by Queensborough. Oyster Bay desperately trying to keep it in. Lynch chips it. It chips it out of play. That's Lynch. He does that. And it looks like it's going to be Queensborough resetting inside their own possession. The best opportunity of the game so far for Oyster Bay. Rosero couldn't get all of it. He mustered some of it on goal, but it was an easy save there by Urgilis.
One's like 2.5, one's like 4.
Blasted away by Queensborough. Again. Racing forward there. Woods is defensive. Here comes it Morris. Philly Woods charging back. It's a chance again for Queensborough. And it still remains 1-0. Fancy chance. Here's Junior Rosero, the Golden Boot winner. Shoots a shot that's blocked off the leg of Holt, and it goes out of play. So Junior Rosero, a chance on the far right side of the field. He could have fancied towards goal. Nonetheless, it will lead to a corner kick. Here's Sebastian Ruiz, the first corner for Oyster Bay this afternoon. This time from the far right side of the field. So Ruiz will look to get something going here. Oyster Bay with a great chance, finally in front of the cage. The first corner of the day for this team. The only goal was scored off the corner. That was Queensborough's goal. Very early in this game by Joshua Savreda. That's a corner that goes far to the left. Booted away by Queensborough. Loose ball. Woods tries to play it. He will indeed, but he'll play way outside the zone of Queensborough.
Girls, keep it down a little bit. It's getting picked up by the computer. Thank you.
Woods will swing across the Lynch. Lynch will circle across to the far right side. He'll find Morris. Morris has been around. He's had a few fouls, both against the two. Also has had several throw-ins. Though a loose ball goes in front, it's taken away by Queensborough. Loose ball again kept by Queensborough. They'll move right to left and occupy once more. Lefty foot. Here comes a 2-on-1. They've got numbers. That's Queensborough. They're going to maybe go up two. Quick rolling shot that goes wide of the cage and out of play on the left side. Great opportunity for Queensborough again. They had to play defense for a period of minutes. Right after that, they force another turnover. They have a chance going right to left. Great shot opportunity by Jonathan Santillan. That is spoiled as it goes by Perez, but nowhere in the cage. With that, it still remains 1-0. Here's Oyster Bay trying to play for the ball again. Santillan with a great opportunity. Queensborough had numbers that were up 2-1 in the numbers area. Odd man rush, but they couldn't capitalize. Now the ball brings back to Perez, who swings to Blanco. Blanco will carry his way and go forward, trying Ruiz, though it's met by a header by Holt. Loose ball kept by Morris, though. There defensively against Queensborough. Circling around. Akeem Morris finds Junior Rosero. Sarah draws back to Blanco. Blanco retreating back to Morris. Morris dances around. He's almost taken down. He stays with the play. Now he's taken down. A whistle will be called, and a foul and a yellow card issued. Looks like the yellow card will be issued against Queensborough as Morris was taken down for the trip. The first yellow of the game for either team. It goes against Queensborough, and Oyster Bay with the grand free kick here to possibly get some numbers going in their favor. So the whistle is called. Looks like the yellow went against number 7 in Gabriel Enriquez. And Gabriel Enriquez will be the first player for either team to have a yellow issued against him. Oyster Bay is wearing yellow. Queensborough wearing purple and black. Oyster Bay also has some black lines in their jersey. After that foul, a little crossover to Altuve, swings to Lynch, who takes all the way to Woods on the far left side. Pardon me, it was actually Minghu So, pardon me, who actually got the yellow card. It was not Gabriel Enriquez. Nonetheless, the yellow card has been issued against Queensborough. Anyway, Queensborough still moving the ball. Loose ball. Gomez trying to get there. Lynch also there as well. Neither one can pick it up. Here comes Queensborough moving with numbers again. Queensborough off to the races. Race opportunity. Great feed in front. Shot on the goal. That's Perez. A low ground shot on the left side makes its way past Perez. That time it's Damian Barker. And Barker puts up Queensborough by 2. It's 2-0 here in the regional final. So the low ground ball shot on the far left side. It could have been playable for a stop. It's beat by John Carlos Perez. Oyster Bay trailing by 2 as Damian Barker gets goal number 2 of the day for his squad. So the yellow card doesn't make a difference. Minghu So, player for Queensborough, took the yellow. Fast forward a few minutes later, and it's Queensborough getting their second goal of the game. Damian Barker doing the honors to put Queensborough up 2-0. Oyster Bay, what's the response? They've given up 2 goals here in this first half. They've had few offensive chances. They were a little sluggish to kick off the contest. They're getting starting to get back in the group a little bit now. That momentum squandered down a little bit more with that second goal scored by Queensborough. Oyster Bay has the possession again off that goal. Here's Woods. Woods swings to Lynch. Lynch now fancies forward, trying to find Gomez, though coming way out of his crease is the goalkeeper and Brian Erguiles. And it looks like with that, Erguiles took a shot. He's low on the ground. There was contact made. Gomez might be assessed for that. The goalie is still down for Queensborough. Erguiles will need some medical attention after that body shot from Wilbur Gomez. And with that in play has been halted as medical attention is needed. Oyster Bay, though, still trailing by 2. Gomez trying to get a rush towards the cage, played that loose ball, and collided with the goalkeeper. Erguiles really shaken up. He's still down on the ground. Several of his teammates try to convey over him. Still being attended by the medical staff, he is, of Queensborough. So that is halted play for now, as Oyster Bay still trails 2-0 to Queensborough, regardless of the injury. We're at the 23rd minute, 23:15 to be exact. The clock is still running, regardless of the injury. But Queensborough still has the lead by 2. So it looks like the goalkeeper's back on his feet after that timeout, that injury situation. Brian Erguiles, the goalkeeper, the starting goalkeeper for Queensborough, took a shot from Wilbur Gomez. He was down on the ground for a few minutes. He's okay to still go. He's back on his feet. He'll have a goal kick opportunity to just blast it out of his zone. Queensborough sends it down. We'll go out of play off of Queensborough, and Oyster Bay will have an opportunity to move things once more left to right. Perez has given up 2 goals against Queensborough. It's 2-0 Queensborough. If you're joining us at Coach Corner NYC, as this is the American Premier Regional Final game. The winner will win the title and play in New England in 2 weeks' time for the Northeast Championship. The loser has their spring 2022 season come to a close. Oyster Bay still moving the ball around. Here's Teo Chavez. Chavez will swing things across. He'll give it to Ruiz. Ruiz on the far right side. Sebastian Ruiz sends things across, trying to find a teammate. Over there is Woods. He can't hook up. He collides with a player. Loose ball. It goes almost out of play, but an injury whistle will be called. A player for Queensborough was shaken up after that. They called a foul on it as well. He's back on his feet. Here's a goal kick again for Queensborough. Oyster Bay, another great opportunity. Nothing was formulated as that chance was nullified. A chance spoiled once more. Goal kick one more time. Blasted away by Queensborough. Camper down. Ball Perez comes out of the play. Woods is there as well. Woods having to circle around him and pocketed away by Musa Diarra. It goes off Diarra last, nonetheless, as he chipped it off his foot and out. So here comes Perez with a simple goal kick to Altuve. He'll swing over to Matthew Lynch. Matthew Lynch now with it. Lynch swinging across to his right side to Akeem Morris. Akeem Morris will kick to Blanco. Andy Blanco now with it will swing to Sebastian Ruiz. Ruiz, he's being covered all across. He'll swing to Lynch. Actually, Blanco, that is, now to Lynch. Ruiz was being heavily covered by Joshua Saavedra. Saavedra got the first goal of the game off a header in front. The second goal was scored by Damian Barker to make it 2-0 Queensborough. Nonetheless, Oyster Bay still moves the ball around. Loose ball, battered down. Diarra there defensively is taken away by Queensborough. Around again. That's Barker. Barker lost the handle. He's been pocketed. And Oyster Bay will still move the ball around simultaneously. Altuve. Now will swing to Blanco. Blanco moving his way. Fancies forward, trying to find over to Ruiz. The whistle is called. A foul is called. Looks like it's against Queensborough, though. Saavedra had too much contact on the left arm of Sebastian Ruiz. And with that, here's a free kick opportunity for the United. Matthews Carriel wants a new ball. He'll get one. He'll take a free kick from inside the 35-yard line at around the 30. Actually, inside the 30 at around the 27 or so. Oh, no. He'll actually retreat. Go to the 30-yard line or so. 33, it looks like, from our vantage point. On the far right side of the field, across from the Queensborough bench. Carriel trying to send something. Now he fancies one, corners it to the left. Kick ball off a foot of Morris, I believe. Either way, it's scooped up with ease by Queensborough. Queensborough again, playing catch in their own zone, occupying things. They lead by 2 in this regional final. Zabreda tries to fancy a feed across. Morris played it defensively. It went off Morris, I believe, last. And a throw-in will take place for Anderson Holt and Queensborough. Altuve there off the throw-in. Morris also just trying to play pickpocket away first. He's taken down. There's the whistle one more time. Akeem Morris tripped for a second time. This time it won't be a yellow. That's the way it seems, at least for now. Last time Morris was taken down, it was a yellow card on King so. This time it's not a yellow anyway. It's Oyster Bay moving again left to right. And here's a fancy chance for Junior Rosera. Junior on the far right side. Fancies a shot across, firing wide. Great chance to sneak it in on that top left corner. Junior had all of it, but he couldn't get it exactly on point. So Rosero with a blistering chance to cut the lead in half. That's spoiled. The deficit still now is 2 for Oyster Bay. So Rosero with a blistering shot. He has 18 goals in a year. Went scoreless last time around last weekend in the semifinal. As Queensborough will now move the ball after that spoiled chance. Queensborough in retreat mode inside their own zone. They'll fancy back over. Queensborough again, fancies one down. Morris trying to get there defensively. A header that goes off the head of Gabriel Enriquez. And with that, Enriquez will have a turnover go against Queensborough. Junior Rosero there. Taken down as Enriquez. Junior Rosero has a whistle called against him. Looks like a foul against the Golden Boot winner. So Junior not too happy about that. Oyster Bay will have to give up another free kick to Queensborough. Stop Brandon. Taken down with the player off the ball. Santillion. Now Tupia went off fancy across. Header chance, batter down. Lynch fancies one down. Racing as Matthews Carriel. It's too far for Carriel. It's popped up in the air. Settled down by Chavez. Teo lost the handle. Loose ball taken again by Queensborough. Here comes Queensborough moving again. And they've got numbers racing. Chavez racing offensively. Barker towards the side with Chavez. They battle for the ball. It goes out of play. Looks like it's off Teo last. Here comes the throw in for Queensborough. They'll have a throw on the far right side of the field. What better field than Brooklyn, New York? Aviator Sports Complex. Oyster Bay trailing Queensborough 2-0 in the American Premier Playoff Regional Final. The winner in 2 weeks will play New England for the Northeast Championship. The loser will have their spring 2022 season close. Right now, Oyster Bay is trailing Queensborough 2-0. Last time these two teams played, Queensborough won by a slim margin of 1-0. Queensborough still moving with numbers, dancing around. Woods there is going to be Barker. Barker stamping around, lost his foot, keeps with it now. Barker feeds across, intercepted by Blanco. To prevent any other scoring opportunities by Queensborough. Queensborough has had several numbers in front of the box and in front of the cage in general. That's how the second goal was scored. The first goal was off a header in front. The second was a great feed cross, far outside the box, but still went in the cage. And a wide clear goes out of play towards the Oyster Bay bench. It'll be played by Oyster Bay towards the bench. Here's Morris. Well, Queensborough with 2 nice formulated goals. Oyster Bay has had several chances of their own, but they've all been spoiled. Junior Rosero had a recent blaster of a chance, but it went too far in the cage, too far left. Trying to sneak a top shelf, top left corner, but he couldn't do so. Maybe the wind prevailed it too far in the cage. Around the horn, Oyster Bay still goes. Here comes Akeem Morris, who swings to Carriel, who drops back to Blanco.
Yeah.
Blanco with it, retreats to Altuve outside the Queensborough zone, who now swings to Matthew Lynch. Matthew Lynch swings all the way across for Wilbur Gomez on the far left side. Inside the 30-yard line or so. Now he drops back to Carriel. Carriel with it, drops to Altuve again. Altuve trying to swing things around. He'll look to go down the field, but instead he'll retreat to his buddy in Lynch towards his left. Back to Carriel, now back to Lynch. Now swings across to Gomez on the right side. Here's Wilbur Gomez. Gomez was just on the far left side. He's now on the right side. He now gives to Blanco to switch to Ruiz. Pardon me, that's Morris instead. Morris now to Blanco. Now kicks to Carriel. Oyster Bay playing catch. Trying to form something going forward, but Queensborough locking up holes. Queensborough with phenomenal defense, stellar defense in his first half so far. That's why they lead the contest 2-0. Swing around Ruiz. He's in retreat mode after that pressure by Salvedra. Salvedra forces Ruiz to drop back to Altuve, who kicks now to Blanco, who tries to go forward. Carriel swings to Morris. Morris can't grab the handle. It's too hot to handle it. It goes off Akeem Morris's foot, and it goes out of play. Here's a throw-in for Queensborough towards their bench. So we're still in the first half. 33rd minute, almost hitting the 34th minute. We'll see how much additional time we get when the clock hits 45. Anyway, here comes Santillion moving quickly. A quick ground ball shot. Easily picked up by Perez. Maybe he was trying to taunt him. Perez was beaten by a low ground ball shot far from his crease for the second goal of the contest for Queensborough. Either way, here's Morris off that chance. Here's the feed to Carriel. Cariel shaking, retreating, back to Morris. Morris in retreat mode. Enriquez all over Morris. Great defense again by Queensborough. Blanco gets the ball, and all he can do is chip it down. Saavedra heads it up in the air. He's shaken up. It goes out of play off a few more bounces. And with that, Joshua Saavedra, the first goal scorer for Queensborough, he's on the ground, and he might need some attention. Whistle's blown. Play halted. Clock will still run. But Saavedra is shaken up. The officials will check him out. We might need some medical personnel check him out as well at Queensborough. The second player to go down and possibly need some medical attention. Saavedra's still on the ground. He's still shaken up. Clock will still run, like I mentioned, as we're over 34 minutes in the first half. Coach Espejo wants him to get him off the field to prevent any further delay of Oyster Bay offense. Saavedra's back on his feet. He's back to go. Looks like he might be subbed down. Or not, he will stay and just want a drink of water. Stay hydrated after that fall. But nonetheless, it's going to be a throw-in for Akeem Morris. A throw-in over to Sebastian Ruiz, and here comes Ruiz racing towards that bench. Queensborough, it's out of play off of Oyster Bay. Queensborough will get the throw-in. And it looks like it's Saavedra, who was recently injured. He's back on his feet. He seems to be okay to continue. He forces that turnover, and here comes Anderson Holt with a throw-in near the Queensborough bench. So Oyster Bay, sluggish start, able to get their feet going a little bit in the last 20, 25 minutes or so. Still no goals on the board for the United as they trail by 2. A throw-in for Holt now. Morris tries to get there. Morris heads it. Holt will match it with the header of his own. Headed again by Morris, and it will go out of play over the head of the Queensborough bench. Oyster Bay again trailing 2-0 in this championship game, the regional final. Winner will play in New England for the Northeast title. The loser has their season closed. Header that goes off the chest of a Queensborough player. Thrown in by Morris, the rebound. Gomez there for Oyster Bay. Now here comes Lynch trying to fancy down to Ruiz. Sebastian racing. Sebastian chipping a shot in front. It goes in the goal. So Sebastian Ruiz races. He scores the first goal of the game for Oyster Bay. And just like that, towards the end of half number 1, the deficit is cut in half. Oyster Bay, Sebastian Ruiz with a chip fancy shot past the goalkeeper of Queensborough. And just like that, Oyster Bay gets on the board. It wasn't the prettiest goal, but it's good enough for Oyster Bay. It's 2-1 Queensborough still. It's 2-1. Sebastian Ruiz getting a goal for Oyster Bay, cutting this lead in half. And just like that, a spark of energy puts the United back in this contest. Here's Andy Blanco racing. Blanco now for Gomez. Oyster Bay back in it somehow. Just like that, a quick strike by Sebastian Ruiz, his 9th goal of the season, puts Oyster Bay back in this contest. Oh no! Ruiz is crashing towards the goal, getting the best opportunity he can. He fancies one over into the cage. And just like that, Ruiz cuts that deficit for Oyster Bay in half. Here comes Gomez sending one across, too far of a stretch. Pardon me, that was Woods trying to find Gomez in front of the cage. Neither one can work together to put something on net. That goes out of play. And with that, here comes a goal kick to Queensborough. Oyster Bay with some life here after that strike by Sebastian Ruiz. Ruiz with his 9th goal of the season. Ruiz has had 2 separate hat tricks this year. Nonetheless, this one gets Oyster Bay on the scoring sheet. Chipper down by Queensborough after 2 goals given up. Oyster Bay answers with one of their own towards the end of this half. Sebastian Ruiz gets the strike. Offside called late. So, thought he scored the goal. But as he was going and forming in motion, a late offside was called. Oyster Bay wanted it. They'll get the call in their favor. Just like that, it's still 2-1. Maybe So's chance to make it 3-1 is canceled and denied. So with that, Perez a goal kick. He fancies to Blanco. To a fancy now to Morris. Back to Blanco it goes. Here's Andy Blanco. Blanco fans one down, trying Chavez. It's matched there by Queensborough. Met with ease. And now here comes Queensborough trying to put things away. Waning minutes here. 39th minute, 30th seconds. 6 minutes at least, some possibly additional time. Hakeem Morris with a header. Enriquez slipped. He couldn't match the play. Anyway, it goes up to United. And it looks like it'll be a throw-in for Anderson Holt near the Oyster Bay bench. Almost at 40 minutes, 2-1. Oyster Bay trailing. They just got a goal recently by Sebastian Ruiz to put them back in the contest. Oyster Bay was down. Throw in by Altuve. Gomez is taken down. They want to foul. Good pressure there by Gomez. Intercepted by Winston. Who swings the Carriel. He has to go reverse the play. Carriel with Carriel playing a feed over to Ruiz. Here's Sebastian on the far left side. He got the goal recently. Can Sebastian do it again? Feed in front for Chavez. Intercepted. Oyster Bay's bench was getting excited here. Possibly tie this game up. Anyway, here's Queensborough making so fancies one down. A chance down the field it goes. Here comes Woods. Woods can't play it. It's taken by Santillion. Santillion retreats so. In the air. Not met down by Queensborough. Taken away by Oyster Bay. Here comes Hakeem Morris. Morris to Junior Rivera. Who now takes to Dylan Woods. Woods now to Lynch, who now swings to Altuve. Altuve and company playing catch in their own zone. Maybe they'll get one last chance before the half expires. Andy Blanco tries to move things down. Here's a chance for Morris. Coach Espejo really screaming on the sideline and wanting his team to move forward. They're running low on time here in the first. They still have another half to play when the intermission takes place. Well, they want something more. They want at least a second goal to tie this game up at the halftime mark. Here comes Teofilo. Chavez racing. Teo with a chance. He shoots a shot, and it goes by the Kings. Teofilo Chavez with a shot on goal. Looks like the goalkeeper in Arquiles got a piece of it for Queensborough. With that piece, it trickled behind the cage and went out of play. Nonetheless, Oyster Bay has a chance once again. Looks like a corner from the left side. So Oyster Bay will have a corner from the left side. Ruiz, who got the goal for Oyster Bay, will be doing the honors. Teofilo Chavez inches away from tying this game. Ruiz, the kick, all the way across to Blanco on the far right side. Andy plays it. He fancies one in front. Met down. Loose ball. Open opportunity. Blasted away by Queensborough. Carriel racing to keep it alive. Here's Matthews with him. Matthews, Carriel. Carriel retreats now. Fancies down. Finds Hakeem Morris towards the Queensborough bench. Here comes Carriel. Running a little on time is Oyster Bay. We're at the 43rd minute almost. Fancy chance for Junior Rosero. He can't make the play. A few more bounces. Now it's kept in by Oyster Bay. Here comes Gomez. He finds Blanco. Blanco swings all the way across. Tapper down. It's Sebastian Ruiz. Ruiz with it. Ruiz fancy one in front. Chavez trying to get a foot on it. He can't get there. It's scooped up by Queensborough before the chance could be made. A chance spoiled again by Oyster Bay. Still remains a one-goal game. That one again inches away from tying it. Oyster Bay, after that goal by Ruiz, has sparked life, and Queensborough has had some trouble even moving the ball down the field. Hakeem Morris. Morris dancing. He's got two defenders on him. He's taken down. He draws a foul. Hakeem Morris draws another whistle. He's taken down for the third time today. One of the ones earlier, the first time he was tripped, threw a yellow card. The last two not, but Morris has drawn 3 fouls against Queensborough, all via tripping motion. After that, some feeds now go to Carriel. Here's Gomez who fancies one down. Gomez across, trying to find Chavez. There's nowhere to be found. Last chance by Queensborough, captained by Woods. Here's Dylan Woods. Woods moving quickly. Chavez, the pass too strong, too fast, also too far ahead. Taken by Queensborough, booted out of play. Skied up in the air, headed down by Altuve. and retreated and taken now by Ruiz. Sebastian Ruiz running low on time. We're about to hit the 45th minute. We're at 44-20 to be exact. Chance again in front, trying to find Junior Rosero in front of the cage. Mastered down by Queensborough. As we are nearing the end of this first half, once the clock hits 45 minutes exactly, we'll have 2 minutes of extra time. Queensborough moving the ball around. Trying to get one last rush. They had 2 goals earlier in this half. Oyster Bay struck about 10 minutes or so ago to cut it to 2-1. Queensborough, since that goal, has had a great chance that went offside. Besides that, nothing to show for it. Look inside. Looks like it's going to be a foul zone against Queensborough, as a player is down for Queensborough. Oyster Bay will not complain, nothing happy with it. A pass for Lynch is down, backed up by Morris. And a player is still injured down on the field for Queensborough. Jonathan Santillan. Play now finally halted. Santillan down on the ground, the third Queensborough player to be shaken up this half. It took a little while for it to be called. And Jonathan Santillan back on his feet. Number 14 in purple and black. Santillan also has a little bit of a limp going on now. You're over the 45-minute mark. We're about to hit the first minute of extra time. We have 1 more to go after that. Looks like the clock might just be spoiled out to get to halftime. Oyster Bay taking some water breaks in order to get replenished and rehydrated in this contest. They've got about 1 minute or so left in this half of extra time before the halftime intermission. After the intermission, another 45 minutes and possibly some extra time as well. We'll see how much, though, when that time comes around. Matthews carry out. After that play, Jonathan Santillan still shaken up. There was a foul called against Santillan, who was taken down and was shaken up afterwards.
Okay.
Oyster Bay will have the possession.
That's it right there. In your half.
And the ball will be at around the 40-yard line inside Oyster Bay territory. Oyster Bay going left to right for this half. When we return, they'll go right to left. And it looks like after that throw-in, we won't get a free kick. Altuve won't have a chance to blast it down. Nonetheless, 45 minutes and some extra are done. It's 2-1 in a very intriguing game after 1 half of action. 2 goals scored early by Queensborough. About 10 minutes or so left to go in the first half. Sebastian Ruiz got United on the score sheet. That goal makes it 2-1 after 45 minutes, also with 2 minutes of extra time. We still have 1 more half to go in this regional final. 1 half is done, 1 more still to go. The game is a 1-goal contest, and it's down to the wire just like expected. We'll see what happens in half number 2 after this break. Halftime is now on Coach's Corner NYC. You're watching live coverage of the American Premier Championship game in the playoffs between Oyster Bay and Queensborough. The winner will travel to New England for the Northeast Championship to play for that title. Right now, 2-1 after 1 half of play. 1 half more to go as Oyster Bay trails to Queensborough 2-1. And it's a big contest. Oyster Bay looking to stay alive in this contest. They're down by one of the time. Maybe pull ahead. Queensborough looking to hold on to maybe get some insurance as they lead by that one goal swing margin. About to kick off the second half of action on Coach's Corner NYC on YouTube. The American Premier Division playoffs, the regional final of the United Premier Soccer League. Queensborough, next year they'll be going to the USL, and they look to add one more trophy to their resume this championship today if they can hold on in order to add to their resume once they join the USL in 2023. For the United of Oyster Bay, next month will be the first year anniversary of this team. They're in their second straight regional final. Last fall, they lost to NJAFC 1-0. The game ended tight even. That's how close it was. That's how physical it was altogether last fall. Oyster Bay back in this position against Queensborough, this time in the spring campaign. This time they're looking to change the narrative, make history, and win their third regional title. And again, once July hits, will be the 1-year anniversary of this Oyster Bay club. Oyster Bay huddling one last time before they get the second half going. Queensborough looking to get ready to rock and roll. They lead 2-1 like I've mentioned as we're about to kick off half number 2. The winner, regional champions. The loser, their season comes to a close. And the winner not only wins the regional title, but they will be able to book a trip to New England to play for the Northeast Championship. Northeast Regional Championship, that is. Oyster Bay went left to right in half number 1. Half number 2, they'll be going from right to left. Queensborough, they went right to left. They, of course, will be going left to right. As we're about to get things restarted, Queensborough will put the ball to themselves at the center point. Looks like Jonathan Santillan will be doing the honors to begin this second half of action. Oyster Bay United trailing by 1. Down 2-1 as we're about to begin the second half. This is do or die for this squad to either keep your season alive and win a regional championship and play New England in 2 weeks' time, or if you don't win this game, the spring comes to the close and the offseason begins. You'll have to wait until the fall to play once again. Oyster Bay doesn't want to hear the words offseason until at least August happens. They have 45 minutes to determine their destiny here. Santillan will get things started. And the kickers are underway. Half number 2, Queensborough up 2-1. As Queensborough moving the ball around inside their own zone. They'll fancy around. They start with the possession and they'll boot it down. Andy Blanco tries to fancy it himself. It's a header that goes off his head. It was last capper down off the foot of Akeem Morris. It looks like it'll be a throw-in for Anderson Holt on the far left side of the field. Again, Queensborough leading 2-1 against Oyster Bay. Sebastian Ruiz, when this team was down 2-0, got the goal for Oyster Bay to cut the lead in half for Queensborough. Run by Queensborough. Dancing around there still. Queensborough will shoot the ball around. It takes a few funny bounces. It goes off Morris last. Enriquez will throw things back into Santillan. Santillan dancing around, shooting a shot at right point one in the top corner. What a sniping shot with Queensborough back up by 2. If you want to kick off a second half, that's how you do it. First shot of the half, it's a rifling sniper to put Queensborough up 3-1. Only a few minutes in to this first half of action. At the 47-minute mark, Queensborough gets their third goal. The contest is 3-1. The goal scorer, Jonathan Santillan. And Santillan, with a beautiful shot, puts Queensborough back ahead by 2 strikes. Oyster Bay having momentum towards the end of that first half, sailed back down with that strike by Queensborough. Queensborough regained the 2-goal lead. They had to kick off the contest. They now lead 3-1. That's the difference this time. After that, here's Matthew Lynch corralling the ball over to Akeem Morris for the United. Here comes Oyster Bay now trailing by 2, trying to occupy something inside the Queensborough zone. Feed for Chavez, that's too far of a stretch, but a last touch holds. So we're again set for some substitutions upcoming for Oyster Bay at the next whistle. Hey, Coach, we got these guys throw it. Here comes Oyster Bay. It's Andy Blanco. He's taken down. No whistle called. Queensborough takes it the other way. Pickpocket, though, by Lynch. Oyster Bay still alive, but they're trailing 3-1 to kick off the second half. Here's Luis Altuve. He swings to Woods. Still Woods on the far left side. Woods dancing around. Swings across. Here's Gomez. Okay. Gomez now kicks over to Lynch. Matthew Lynch fancies to Matthew's Sariel, pardon me. Quick shot on the goal by Junior Rosero. Clustering shot. That's knocked away. It goes out of play off of Queensborough. Here comes the corner for the United. Ariel had the feet chance. Jason Rosero blistering. I didn't know what it was. That was a hard one to stop there. Keep a 2-goal contest. Nonetheless, Oyster Bay, a corner kick on the right side. Here's Ruiz doing the honors. So we'll get some substitutions. 2 new players come in. 2 players out are Matthew Lynch and Wilbur Gomez. They'll grab a seat on the bench. Ruiz, nonetheless, will take the right corner kick. Sends it across, trying to find Blanco. Blanco heads it on goal. Tapper down off a Queensborough defender. Blasts it out of play into the Oyster Bay side of the stands. Goes out, and the ball is kept for the United. Forward by Blanco. He kicks out over. Blanco swings across. Chance for shot. He can't get a foot on it. And with that, the chance is squandered once more. Another grade A scoring chance. Chavez had a great chance in front. He could not get a tapper on that one. Easily denied by Queensborough, and here comes Queensborough again, moving left to right. So another grade A scoring chance, not able to find its way in the back of the cage for the United. Oyster Bay trailing 2 again. That one could have made 1, but it still remains a 2-goal deficit. Again, here comes Queensborough. Fancying quickly. Morris meets down the fancy pass, and here comes Akeem Morris blistering one, trying to find a teammate. And it'll be settled down by the United. They're going in transition. Right to left they go. Oyster Bay had 2 transition goals last week in the semifinal victory versus New Jersey Lions. For Queensborough, with that line, 2-0 there defensively for United. Blast was down. Trying to meet there with Woods. Carriel trying to bounce for it as well. And it's finally taken away by Queensborough. Barker is there. Retreats. He draws back on over. Oyster Bay still playing defensive. Here comes Queensborough moving inside the United territory. Saavedra feeding across. Racing opportunity. Too far of a stretch. Giancarlo Perez will come way out of the crease and pick up the loose ball. Perez with a rocket toss will kick to Morris. And Akeem Morris will fancy down again, trying to get something started for this United squad. They trail by 2. It's 3-1 Queensborough in the regional final of the American Premier Division. Championship Saturday, stakes higher than expected, higher than ever before. And Queensborough now has the advantage as we speak by 2. He led 2-0 to kick off. Sebastian Ruiz got a goal here towards the end of half number 1. Queensborough answered right back with a strike of their own. 2 minutes to change it. Loose ball chance again. Oyster Bay couldn't capitalize. Blanco will settle down to Carriel. He'll drop back to Altuve. Oyster Bay again playing defensive, trying to move into the offensive territory. Here's a feed to Blanco now. Andy Blanco racing. Andy with some numbers, gives across. Official almost in the way, but a fancy across now. Here comes an opportunity for the United. Oyster Bay again, trailing by 2. On the far right side, feed across now to the left side, trying to match there with Ruiz. So it's taken by Queensborough, headed down, now kept in again by Oyster Bay. Here's Woods, over to Ruiz, back to Woods it goes. Woods dancing. Woods will retreat to Altuve. Altuve at center. Stumbles around, makes his way towards the right side. He gives it to Keith Morris. Wood. Goes back to Morris. They play catch again. Now feet all the way across on the far right side. Rosero is trying to attack towards the cage. He's over a year. Scoreless last time around. Scoreless this afternoon. But here's Sebastian Ruiz on the left side. He's the goal scorer. For Bay. Here we go. Opportunity. Intercepted by Queensborough. Scored up. Knockdown. Shoulder on the side. Almost took out me as well. Anyway, here's a third opportunity. A foul whistle called against Oyster Bay. The United not happy about the call. And Queensborough will have a free kick of their own. Or pardon me, it's actually Oyster Bay who will have the free kick. Queensborough defensive foul. It's a banter still between 2 players, 1 of each side. So anyway, here's a corner kick to the left side. Here's the kick. It goes towards the cage. It's screaming and stopped. Oyster Bay crashes towards the goal and hit. It was read easily by Queensborough. And the save is made once more. Queensborough again leads 3-1 Oyster Bay with several chances. They scored towards the end of half number one. They're scoreless so far in several attempts to kick off half number two. Loose ball again taken by Sebastian Ruiz. Ruiz feeding for Chavez. It goes past him. Oyster Bay scores number. Oyster Bay getting a chance to cross. Takes 20 bounds. Junior Rosero trying to get the loose ball. Squandered off the foot of Queensborough. Here comes Oyster Bay with a corner opportunity on the right side of the field. It's Oyster Bay trailing 3-1 for just joining us at Coach's Corner NYC. Live in Brooklyn, New York at Floyd Bennett Field. The regional final header on goal! Does it go in? I think we're calling the goal back. So the header did go in the cage and beat through 5 holes, but they are taking the goal back. Oyster Bay unhappy about it. I believe an offsides whistle before the header eventually made its way into the back of the net. Oyster Bay thought they got their second goal of the game. That will not take place. It gets taken back. So the deficit remains 2. An offsides call was made. And with that, the chance for a 1-goal opportunity and 1-goal situation is spoiled once more. Sebastian Ruiz, though, gets a quick turnover. Quickly moving. Oyster Bay passes too far of a stretch on the right side, and it goes out of play. Anderson Holder throwing for Queensborough. So Oyster Bay has to be kicking themselves on that. They had a great opportunity to make it a 1-goal game. It did go in the cage, but it was taken back. The goal not counted. After the throw-in, Queensborough knocked it out of play off themselves. Looks like it'll be Oyster Bay moving quickly. Here's Andy Blanco. Got a carry out from Rosero. Who now drops to Woods towards the Oyster Bay bench on the left side of the field. Woods kicks on over to Ruiz, who now gives the carry out. Who now swings to Altuve. Altuve with it. All the way across to Hakeem Morris on the far right side. Morris, give and go. Morris racing again. He tries to get a hold on it. He has it. Being pressured, though, by Enriquez. He'll have to drop back defensively. Give and go. Rosero trying to find somebody there. It's quickly intercepted again by Gabriel Enriquez. And the loose ball drops back to Holt, who now gets back to his goalkeeper. Oyster Bay trailing 3-1 again. Over 50 minutes in this contest. And it's the United trailing by 2. Carriel with it. Carriel trying to situate something once again for the United. Chance in front. Ruiz a header. It goes off in the air and it's caught. Great opportunity to head again by Ruiz. He tried to make it a 1-goal game. That's canceled. Nullified and spoiled the chances once more. Ruiz tries to keep it alive. Who does it go off last? It goes off Luca Diablo. And now here's the racing opportunity. Back behind goal. That goes right in the cage. Open opportunity on the far right side. Spoiled. It goes far right of the net, and another chance to make it 3-2. That does not take place. The opportunity again is wasted. Oyster Bay with several opportunities, they just can't capitalize. And Queensborough, the first shot they had, the only shot they've had in this half, was a top shelf snipe to make it 3-1. After those spoiled chances, Queensborough occupies the ball now inside the Oyster Bay territory for the first time in a matter of minutes. At least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe. It's been a while since Queensborough has had a shot on goal. Again, the last great chance they had was a goal to kick off the half, 2 minutes in. Jonathan Santillan with the top shelf snipe to make it 3-1 Queensborough. That's how the second half began. Oyster Bay with several chances. One goal that went in, but it did not count. The other one, a great chance recently in front of the cage ball side of the net. And now here comes United Racing one more time. He's getting to the air. Blasted, deflected out of play. Off Queensborough. Oyster Bay wants the ball. They'll get things set. And they'll restart at center. Altuve from Carriel gives to Morris. And now a few feet now goes to Blanco. Shaking around still. Blanco shaking around. Here's Morris retreating with him. Key Morris and his team, Oyster Bay United, trailing 3-1 in this regional final. American Premier Division. It's playoff time. It's championship game time. And Queensborough leads by 2 in this contest. Blanco from Morris. Ariel, Oyster Bay having some trouble stimulating the offense of possession. Those feet to Ruiz, that foot to Ruiz. Queensborough really locked up 6, shutting down any offensive chances and any offensive goals. Queensborough did a phenomenal job shutting down the United these past 2 minutes or so. It's Blanco. On over. Racing chance to Ruiz now on the left side of the field. Sebastian shoots, whistle call. Well, that chance will be spoiled again. Ruiz. Whistle was called as he was shooting the ball towards the cage. Oyster Bay will lose the possession. They'll lose the opportunity. Offside's called. And Queensborough will get things reset with a goal kick of their own once again. Oyster Bay trailing again 3-1 in this contest. Oyster Bay, entering this game, scored 54 goals in their favor, and they gave up only 9. Today they've given up 3, and they've scored 1. Chance towards the Queensborough bench out of play off of the United, so here's Queensborough. Looks like Queensborough will look to make a substitution before play resumes. Oyster Bay last time they played Queensborough was a 1-0 loss. This game more offensive, 4 goals altogether compared to the 1 lone goal scored by Queensborough earlier this season in the spring. So we'll have a substitution for Queensborough. Rashid Willis will check into the contest. And it looks like for Oyster Bay, Duga Dembali will also enter the contest for the first time this afternoon. Oyster Bay, the amount of goals they've given up in one game this season, as Perez makes a sprawling save against Queensborough, was 4 goals against New Jersey Alliance earlier in the spring. Anyway, here's Junior Rosero. Junior races for a chance to defeat the cross. Great deflection by Queensborough defense. Junior keeps that loose ball and gives to Chavez. Rosero to Chavez. Ruiz on the left side. Here's Sebastian. Another whistle call. Offside for a 3rd time in a row against the United. After that, Chavez will check out. Duga Dembali will enter the contest today for the first time. Teofilo will hop on the bench for the first time today. Chavez with some opportunities, especially in the first half, 2 or 3, he was unable to capitalize during those chances. Goal kick by Queensborough. Up in the air it goes. Headed down by Altuve. Carriel the loose ball. Battle for it one more time. Carriel retreats. Carriel. Around. Taken away though by Queensborough. Fancy move there by Musa Diabla. As Queensborough continues to occupy inside the United zone. Musa Diabla for me is the player, and he made a phenomenal spin move there. And a blasted chance for Oyster Bay goes over the head of Queens. And it looks like a player is injured for Queensborough. Maybe it's the heat, maybe it's cramps. I'm not sure what it is. Or this player is down on the ground. They're looking at tighten muscle. The official calling for a water break. be some medical attention too to this player. Looks like it's Musa Diarra, who just made a phenomenal play defensively moments ago. The way he was able to move the ball around and keep the situation alive for Queensborough. Diarra is on the ground. He'll need some medical attention. Looks like it's a leg cramp. Lower body cramp of some sort. That will force a timeout. The clock still runs, but a water break is in play. Oyster Bay doesn't want that, especially since they trail by 2. And time is not on their side. We just hit the 64th minute. It's at least 26 to go. Maybe some extra time, maybe 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. We'll see how much is given. But nonetheless, Oyster Bay running low on time as they trail by 2 goals. Oyster Bay United entering this game, coming off a victory against the Alliance in the semifinal last week at home. This game, they trailed 2-0. They made it 2-1 towards the end of the first half. 45 minutes ended with a 2-1 score in favor of Queensborough. 2 minutes into the second half, Queensborough answered off that goal to make it 3-1. From where we speak, it still remains a 2-goal advantage for Queensborough. Oyster Bay with several chances, 3 offsides called in a row against United. A goal that went in was one of them, and they called it back. They've had several chances to tie the game, to maybe even take the lead in this contest. All spoiled, as Oyster Bay still trail 3-1. So that water break is finished. Diarra shaken up. Still a battle for the ball. Looks like it's going to be Woods throwing in for Oyster Bay. There's still a commotion of whose ball it actually is. Whistle blown by the ref to get this situated. So it will be the ball of Oyster Bay. Woods throws it off the bench. And here comes Ruiz. Contact on him. Ruiz can't dance around. Ruiz called for a foul. I'll push to the back. Here's Sebastian Ruiz after a few offsides. Now has a foul called against him. And Queensborough will get a goal kick once more. Queensborough, you're up by 2 goals. Your plan is just to milk the clock as much as possible. The clock is your friend in this situation. For Oyster Bay, the clock is your enemy. As we're at least 65 minutes in. Carry out with a header. Batted down. Trying to get there is Woods. He can't pick it up. Willis also there defensively. Goes out of play. Looks like it went off Dylan Woods of the United. And with that, it'll be a throw-in for Queensborough. Queensborough again up 3-1 in the contest at about 66 minutes or so. 66:35 to be exact. A throw in for Queensborough, loose ball. Willis tries to get it. Willis dancing around still. Woods all over him on that far right side. Woods battling with Willis still. It's still a mishmash. As no player can finally pick it up. It's still a battle. Finally sent down. Up in the air it goes. Headed out of play off of Queensborough. And Oyster Bay will get the ball right back. So the United, again, trailing by 2. 67 minutes in. Here's Junior. Junior Rosero dancing around. He can't grab the ball. A push-off. Ruiz. He will get a whistle called against him. Loose ball Willis. Taking down his Carriel. Willis also falls, but he gets right back up. Jose Esquecha, the head coach, wanted a call. Here's a loose chance. Feed across. Open chance. Perez way out of his crease to prevent a 4-1 lead possibly. And Giancarlo was shaken up after that. After that scuffle, Giancarlo Perez had to come way out of his crease to prevent another goal opportunity for Queensborough. Looks like it was Damian Barker who was right in front for a chance. Mingay So was also there. Neither one can get it on goal as Perez charged out of his crease. He's shaken up. He's now back on his feet. After it looked like he took a shot to the face from that offensive rush. Oyster Bay, Perez, he's back all right. He will blast it up in the air, sky it high. Junior Rosero will try to play it. Instead, it's headed by Queensborough, and a loose ball taken by So. So it's quickly intercepted. Junior Rosero dashes. Holt there defensively. Junior trying to back it up. He drops back to Duga Dembele. Duga will swing across. Oyster Bay again, trailing by 2. Carriel trying to call for it. Will be fed in front to Ruiz. It's intercepted, cleared down by Queensborough, recovered by Altuve. Here's Luis Altuve. Luis swings to Matthews Carriel. Carriel swings to Woods. Woods dancing with it. Woods give and go with Ruiz. Here's Woods. Open opportunity. The area gets the play. It's left on the play. The last up Queensborough. Throw an opportunity. But before the throw-in takes place, Queensborough will make a substitution. Oyster Bay, not too far to that. The more stalling, the less time they have. The less dead play as players now down on the field for Queensborough. The lower the chances are to come back in the game. So they trailing 3-1. We're about to hit 70 minutes, if not we've hit it already. Player is down on the field for Queensborough, cramp. And I tell you, it's not easy to play in this weather. Whew. At least 90 degrees. And you've had 2 players back-to-back get cramp for Queensborough. I'm sweating up a storm here just fine. Probably efficient. Just wants to continue. Unfortunately, that's not the case for the United. They can fire those ball over the time is to shave off. That's Queensborough's injured player. Hans Leza, number 6, a defender, had a cramp. He comes off the field. He'll be tended to. Nonetheless, here comes play resuming. Wood throws it in. Ruiz a high kick. Open chance and ball. He can't get a foot on it. Flashed away by Queensborough. Akeem Morris back in the game. He'll reset to Luis Altuve. 26-minute mark in the half. Over 7 minutes in the contest altogether. Today, Lackland shot wide of the cage left and spoiled once more. Pleasant still being tended to on the side. The cramp injury, lower body. Half. Queensborough is moving the ball left to right once more. Here's Queensborough. Up 3-1, fancy chance, quick rush, offensive attack. They've got numbers. Quick opportunity, spoiled. It rolls out of play, but it touched the United last. Coach Spejo not happy about that. His team is trailing by 2 as time is running short. Looks like we'll have a corner opportunity. Mingu So will be doing the honors. See what this can lead to for Queensborough. They're up by 3 already. It's from the far left side. Okay. Here's the corner from the far left side. Swung around. And a player cramping up again for Queensborough. The 4th player cramping up for Queensborough, number 14, Jonathan Santillan, who kicked off the second half with a rifling top shelf snipe. A beautiful goal to kick off the half. Rifled it over the cross, under the crossbar and in to make it 3-1. That's been the last score for either side. After that, here's Junior fancying over to Duga Dembele. Duga dancing. Duga shooting a shot far, wide, and out. Duga Dembele corralling with the left foot. Had it on point, but couldn't get it on goal exactly. But Santillan right there off that corner had a cramp, shaken up in this heat. Santillan had the only goal in half number 2. 2 minutes in, a beautiful top shelf snipe. Under the crossbar and went. Down bar it did. And it was a beautiful goal to put Queensborough back up by 2. Since then, no score by either squad. Oyster Bay for several chances. Rosario right there is too far to stretch. And it's swallowed up by Queensborough, prevented the opportunity for the United is. One more. Oyster Bay playing defense again off that spoiled opportunity. Carriel is there. And a fancy race for Willis. Woods on him. Woods taken down. Willis taken down. No whistle. Queensborough fans won it. They won't get it. Anyway, here's a turnover. Here comes Carriel. Carriel to Blanco. Andy swings across. Oyster Bay numbers move up to Bay. Retreating. Here's Duga Dembali. Swings to Ruiz. Sebastian, first shot! So another great blastering chance by Ruiz. That one turned aside as the score remains 3-1 in favor of Queensborough. With that a corner opportunity, Oyster Bay again running low on time. We're about to hit the 75th minute. Sends across, chance, and oh, good volley, Rick 10 bells. What a save! Queensborough denying Oyster Bay dead on spot. Stone cold for the United on that chance. Comes Queensborough on the opposite wing. Dylan Woods will play it. What an opportunity for Oyster Bay. A header on point. And it's read beautifully with a denial stop. After that, Oyster Bay, they're flustered. We're about to hit 76 minutes. We're 75-35. Oyster Bay turns the ball over again. Queensborough racing quickly. Defensively, Dembaga. Quick chance on goal. Intercepted by Perez. Taken by Giancarlo. He'll toss out the Carriel. Duga Dembali, pardon me, was the player defensively for the United. There's Blanco. Fancying over. Bay again, no one time. We just hit the 76th minute. Down by 2. And the clock is not their friend right now. Captain Louise, he had listed hands earlier. Got a 60-year-old across. Back to Louise now. Again. Dembali. Duga with him. He's the draw. Open shot. Go save again! Another denial. That half has been the half for Brian Vergilis. Acrobatic save after acrobatic save. You can write that narrative better right now. Header on the goal line. Morris had the opportunity, but he sailed it. Team Morris inches away from making it a 1-goal game again. No dice there as Oyster Bay comes up short again. The United trailing in this game for near 80 minutes. And again, clock not in favor. Here's Junior. Junior rolling, ground ball, shot. Oh my goodness! How was it going? It was loose in the area on the goal line, preventing Junior Rosario's 19th goal of the season. I don't know what was said during the half, but they've been preaching defense so far in the second frame. And defense has been all they needed so far after that 3-1 goal that was scored to kick off this half. I guess they say defense wins championships for a reason. Defense and goalkeeping. As Queensborough fancies far down the field, Oyster Bay will get it right back. I mean, you can't write this narrative any better than it has been the past 10 minutes or so. It's been remarkable. Queensborough. Denial after denial. Oyster Bay sure some offsides calls here and there, but the last 2 or 3 grade A scoring chances have either gone wide or they've been stone cold denied by either Musa Diaria, a defender, or the goalkeeper himself for Queensborough, and Brian McGee. Loose ball opportunity, whistle called in favor of Oyster Bay. They want a ball very quick. Again, the 78th minute. We're nearing at least 10. A yellow card was just issued, I believe, against Queensborough. The second one that was issued today. Looks like, from my vantage point, the yellow card was given to number 19 and Rasheed Willis for Queensborough. Hey, Blanco wants some water break quickly. Oyster Bay again running low on time, nearing 80 minutes total, and they trail by 2. They've had chance after chance to make it a 1-goal game, to maybe even tie the game if the goal before went in. Remarkable chances, but even better denials. It's been remarkable stuff to see here by this Queensborough defense and the goalkeeper, Brian McGee. Nonetheless, there's a free kick chance for Ruiz. Oyster Bay will build up the wall. Ruiz, flash, trickles a shot, goes wide to the right side. Maybe that's a deflection, maybe not. Either way, Oyster Bay misses another grade A scoring chance. Oyster Bay has been off kilter this entire second half. Oyster Bay, about 10 minutes under that, actually. At this point, maybe you just play for pride. You're down by 2, you still have time to go. You got to get one very quickly here, and then maybe in a few minutes get another one to make this thing 3 apiece. So they can, but they have only about under 10 minutes or so to do that. Who knows how much extra time they'll get. The additional time is still unknown so far. First down. Queensborough, the foul goes against them. Another free kick chance. As we're at the 81st minute of play. Fancy around, drop back. Down again, taken down again was an Oyster Bay player. Blasted away though by Queensborough. There was no fall on that one. From Perez to Altuve, now it's Carriel at the 50-yard line. 82nd minute. Oyster Bay down 2. The final. The American Premier Division goes to the area, blasting his way forward, gets a tug on the jersey, and he draws a foul. And a yellow issued for that contact. The Oyster Bay gets their yellow, the first one of the day. 3 in total, 2 to Queensborough, the last seconds ago to the United. As we're nearing 2 full hours of gameplay here, it's 3:03 Eastern Time in New York. Game started at around 1:15, 1:20. Playing for over an hour and a half in the hot sun. We've seen several players cramped up, especially for Queensborough. With the cramps or not, they still lead 3-1. Oyster Bay gets a turnover off that. Racing, then Bali. Bali again. Kipper also trouble that goes out of play. There's a chance once more for the United. though they have very, very little time. About 7 minutes or so. The 83rd minute. Here's the key Morris. Morris hopping around. He wants the junior Rosero. He's had several chances, but he's been denied. He was robbed on the goal line by defender Musa Diarra. Similar bounces now goes back to Blanco. Those interceptions. 99. Here's Willis. Rasheed Willis dances, circles around towards the Oyster Bay bench. Now she's on over. Queensborough just trying to kill the clock and play catch and have as much fun as they can before the clock expires. 83rd minute. In retreat mode goes Queensborough. Queensborough taken down as a player. He's shaken up. His cramp. That is Saavedra. Even though Saavedra's shaken up, the ball still moves in favor of Oyster Bay. Ruiz going forward. Ruiz dances, got it up in the air, goes. Blanco tries to head it, tap it off his foot instead. Loose ball drops down. Here's Blanco. They want a handball call. A whistle will be called regardless. Whether it's handball or not, we'll find out. But the whistle is definitely called for the injured player. Queensborough. Joshua Saavedra, who got the first goal of the game, is really shaken up. Seems to be his right hamstring or right quad, excuse me. He'll be stretched out. He'll get some medical attention. Another injured player for Queensborough. We'll see if he recovers. This is the second time Saavedra has been down on the field with at least a lower body cramp or a lower body injury of some sort. And once he gets back on his feet, looks like Pedro Vacasella will check into the game. Once he will check in. Moments away that seems to be. Queensborough faithful, loud, proud, excited, blowing a bullhorn. They're very happy as they're minutes away from a regional championship. And some extra words being said between Musa Diarra and assistant coach Jean-Pierre Espejo from Oyster Bay. Players happen to be separated. The coach happens to be separating these players. Queensborough coach also coming on the field to settle matters. Espejo very upset about the situation. Some words were being put between each other. Saavedra very shaken up. He has to be carried off the field to go out of play. We're still having bantered words between both coaching staffs as this game has all of a sudden turned into a word salad. And a yellow being issued towards the Bay. Oyster Bay not happy about that. Looks like it's against Coach Espejo, the yellow for that one.
Tried to carry her player, push.
Apparently, Coach Espejo of Oyster Bay tried to carry off the injured player in Joshua Saavedra. Saavedra, again, he scored the first goal of the game. Espejo tried to carry him off the field to keep play going. Oyster Bay knowing they have very little time left. Regardless of that, time is still being wasted. And with that ability by Coach Espejo, that's why there was the confrontation and the words exchanged. And, of course, the yellow card eventually issued. 86th minute, almost 87th. Queensborough minutes away from a regional championship. Oyster Bay putting in their heart and soul in this contest. Several chances, especially in this half, all spoiled either by offsides or stone cold denials, or just chances that went wide of the net. Willis trying to play it again with Woods towards the Queensborough bench. Goes out of play. Looks like it touched Oyster Bay last. Coach Esquecha, the head coach for Oyster Bay, not happy about that. Coach Espejo, the GM and assistant coach, also not thrilled. Diarra will throw it in. So Diarra throws it in. Diarra was the one who got in that scuffle with Coach Espejo. And after that, Motion. Oyster Bay had the ball. They got quickly turned over. Queensborough just playing catch, killing clock, knowing they're minutes away from championship. One seed Queensborough defeating right now 3-1, almost to the full defeat. Against Oyster Bay, the second seed. Another shot on goal by Junior Rosero. Denied once again by Queensborough. Queensborough, defense wins championships. This defense and goalkeeping most likely will win a championship in a matter of minutes. Well, batted away by Diallo. Figured out. Almost kept it out. Battle again, now finally out of play. Kept alive, I think, by Oyster Bay in these waning minutes. They trail 3-1. Oyster Bay, the second seed in this playoff, coming off a 3-0 win in the semifinal versus NJ Alliance last week at home. This week they travel here to Brooklyn. They were down 2-0. They made it 2-1. They trail 3-1 to kick off the second half. And Dylan Woods is taken down and he's shaken up. Play is continuing though. Dylan Woods is really injured. He's still down the field. Offside was called against Queensborough during the process as Dylan Woods continues to suffer on the field with an injury. He might need some medical attention. The weather is hot. It's over 90 degrees here in Brooklyn today. A lot of cramps for both teams. Saavedra, the last player, had a serious cramp. He had to be carried off the field. Woods on a knee now as he got back up for a second. Either way, we're in the 89th minute. We're about to hit the 90th minute. We'll see how much extra time we get. Carry out. After that, Woods playing, shaken up but still playing. And a feed. Deflected out of play off of the United and a yellow card issued. Yellow card issued against Queensborough, their third of the afternoon. The suspect, Caleb Taylor, took the yellow card. Oyster Bay with 2 yellow cards, Queensborough with 3. Diarra getting set to throw the ball in after he had scuffed it previously with Coach Speho. Into So will check out from the substitution again for Queensborough. David Santiago Ortiz will check into the contest for the first time. Loose ball, header up in the air. Carriel tries to play it, blasted away by Woods after he was shaken up. Up in the air it goes again. Dembali collides with a player. Late whistle called against Dembali for a foul. With how things are going here, time is expiring very soon. We're in the extra frame of time. Over a minute now. 1:07 to be exact. We'll see how much time Oyster Bay gets. Queensborough is comfortably minutes away from a regional championship. Queensborough, the 1 seed in this playoff, looking to do the honors. Beat Oyster Bay for a second time this year. Earlier it was 1-0 in the regular season. Today, 3-1 at least in the regional final. Oyster Bay, a team that has a lot of promise, a lot of history so far in almost 1 full season. 2 straight regional finals, 1 to 12 that they lost 1-0. Today, in the spring, that they're down 3-1, they're about to lose most likely. Even though there are no regional championships so far for this program, there's a lot to be excited and proud of for in almost 1 full season of action. 55 goals scored for Oyster Bay, only 12 allowed in spring 2022, even though they will not most likely win the regional title. Carriel dancing, he lost the handle. Diarra will look to throw it in. He's taking a sweet time. He'll now chuck it all the way in. Woods tries to play it with Willis. Battle for the ball. Ricochet's almost out of play. It's kept in. Now a foul called against Oyster Bay. Diarra celebrating that. He was the one who threw it in to get that play started. As we're now nearly 3 minutes of extra time. And for Oyster Bay, most likely a crushing defeat. Queensborough again playing catch, going around the horn. Queensborough going to win a championship. Minutes away from that. We're in extra time. A player goes down one more time. A second player goes down for Queensborough. A whistle called against Matthews Carriel. And Oyster Bay at this point, not much they can do. Queensborough just ready to celebrate, getting very close to it. Also called again against Queensborough. Here's Oyster Bay with one last rush, possibly. Racing opportunity. Oyster Bay. They go for the second goal here. They play right with the strategy. Trail by 2 in the extra time. Still not sure how much time will be exactly. Here's time to see more. Moore's racing. Moore's shooting a shot towards the cage. Maurice can't settle it. It's blasted outside the outfield. The horn continues to sound. Stop it.
We don't control the clock.
Just
We don't control the clock.
Huh?
We don't control the clock.
That was happening. Shot! One off the crossbar. Oyster Bay had a great chance. It was cleared up by Queensborough. Oyster Bay continued to move again. Dunbally with a great chance.
You don't run the clock. You don't run the clock.
Who's up there?
Ask Queensborough.
Huh?
Ask Queensborough. They're the home
That
team.
ball goes out of play. The clock is still running. One of the side officials trying to signal that the clock should be stopped. Maybe the game should be over by now, but nonetheless, the game is continuing to go on. As we're nearing 5 minutes of extra time and 50 minutes total in the second half. Queensborough up 3-1. Another player tripped. Oyster Bay knows to keep going. Dunbally with it. Look at Dunbally. He had a great chance at the iron. Crossbar on the left crossbar. That was Oyster Bay again moving. Oyster Bay sequence through Dunbally. Racing his Dugan. And Dugan do it again. Let's see what happens. Back instead. Swing on the ball. Off the pipe.
That was not offside. That was not offside. How is that offside? Just coming to pause.
Another glorious opportunity right in front of the cage, but a whistle was called to prevent the opportunity. Oyster Bay, whistle after whistle, they can't catch a break. They've had 2 goals go in, now one more recently. All taken back due to offsides, whistles or whistles in general. Ball went out of play off of Oyster Bay after that. But a great A scoring chance on the left pipe. Almost went in, but a whistle was blown. The call play dead. Great A scoring chance in front. Canceled. Once more. Oyster Bay at this point, this is just more frustrating and frustrating as the clock continues to wind somehow. 51 minutes time here in the second half. At least 6 minutes of extra time. You would have thought this game could have been over by now. But the players still continue to play. Even though Queensborough is comfortably up 3-1. Now looks like we're getting more arguing words between the Queensborough head coach and some players of Oyster Bay. I tell you, this has gone from just scrappy to personal. Referees breaking that conversation up again. As we're over 7 minutes of extra time in. This game has been physical, it's been scrappy, there's been lots of words back and forth. The emotions have ran high, especially in the second half, especially towards the end of the game. This game maybe should have ended a few minutes ago, but the clock still runs. Unknowingly why. Regardless, it's Queensborough still up with their 2 goals in their favor. And with that, a quick put in by Queensborough. Foul called, and I believe that will end the contest. The game is over. The horn has sounded, and Queensborough is your regional champion of the American Premier Division of the United Premier Soccer League. It is Queensborough getting the victory 3-1 over Oyster Bay, and the number 1 seed are the champs. Taking down Oyster Bay for a second time this year, this time 3-1 in the game that matters the most. The regional championship to Queensborough. Oyster Bay stunned and defeated, losing 3-1 here in Brooklyn this afternoon. So Oyster Bay, with about 2 hours of gameplay, come up short in their second straight regional final appearance. Last fall, they lost 1-0 to NJAFC. This spring, they lose to Queensborough, the number 1 seed, and a team that is going to be in the USL in 2023. This win for Queensborough, a very nice win, backed up by defense and solid goalkeeping. 3 goals, of course, but defense and goalkeeping making the difference, especially in the second half. Queensborough, your champion of the regional final of the American Premier Division. Queensborough, the victor. Oyster Bay, the latter. And with that, Queensborough will move on to New England to play the Great Northeast Championship. For Oyster Bay, spring 2022 comes to a close in disappointing fashion against a very good Queensborough team, 3-1 in Brooklyn. I think that's all she wrote for us. My producer, Steve Sanchez. I'm Alex Carbonati. Thanks so much for joining us on YouTube for Coach's Corner NYC. We'll see you next time around. When that will be, we're not sure, but we'll see you soon. Oyster Bay season's come to a close in the spring. Queensborough, the regional champion, they'll move on to New England to play for a Northeast Regional Championship. For now, so long, have a great night, and thanks so much for joining us on YouTube.